What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about Facebook ad inconsistencies. Now, one of you guys actually hit me up and asked me about these types of things, or about launching a product and certain things that you guys should be looking for. And number one, first of all, you guys need to pay attention to your break-even ROAS. So in order to figure that out, all you got to do is you take the product price, so whatever your price is set for that product, and then divide it over your product price again minus your cost of goods. So once you figure that out, that'll be your break-even ROAS, and anything above that, obviously you're profitable. Anything below that is that means you're in the red, and that means you're negative and unprofitable. So one of the main reasons as to why you guys may be getting Facebook ad inconsistencies is the algorithm changes. So obviously Facebook, it's an algorithm, and Facebook uses a pixel on your website in order to determine who exactly to target when you're running your ads. So the algorithm changes every day. The budget changes in your space. So like if you have competitors that may change their budget or raise it or decrease it, that's just going to mess with the optimization overall. Some days it might be a holiday, like that's happened to me. I think it was the week before Black Friday, like my sales started dropping off just a little bit because I think everyone was raising their budget, so I had to raise mine too, and then I did really well. And then other holidays, well, not really a holiday, but Amazon Prime Day, I did pretty bad, and that's because everyone was on Amazon purchasing things. So you just have to keep that in mind. Just also check out your website too. Maybe your website just may be slow for whatever reason. A app on it may just be slowing it down, so you have to check that out. But like I said, competitors change their budget, maybe a certain holiday, and then also Facebook might find a different pocket of people. So basically how it works is, if you're targeting a certain audience and out of nowhere, let's say, I don't know, it's a Wednesday, Facebook may decide all of a sudden they want to target a different pocket of people, or just falls upon a pocket of people that just aren't that profitable. That can happen as well, so you just have to keep that in mind. Now, another thing that can affect your optimization is changing your budget. So you shouldn't be messing with your budget too much, especially if you're in the testing phase. So what I usually like to do is I'll start out a campaign for like $100, and then I'll test 10 different interests, and I'll just let it run for 3 to even 7 days depending on how it performs. So when you're testing, or if you're in your profitable stage, don't touch the budget too much. Adjust it anywhere from 20 to 30%. Sometimes, me personally, I even go lower than that. I may be doing 15%. But if you change the budget too much, it'll mess with the optimization, and it may ruin that pocket of customers. So if you're at a certain budget, Facebook might have found a really good niche or pocket of people that are really profitable. And if you change that budget, it may take it out of that pocket and target other niches or other pockets that aren't really as profitable as the previous one. So also changing the ad set. So this really depends on if you're doing ABO or CBO. Honestly, I think you guys should be sticking to CBO overall. I think it's better. But when you mess with the ad sets, like changing an audience or changing the interest rather, it can mess with the optimization. Now, if you're doing a CBO, let's say you have a $100 CBO, you have 10 different ad sets. If you cut them on and off consistently, that may mess with the optimization. So changing an ad set can also affect your optimization. So when you are creating different ad sets with different interests in them, if you're like consistently just cutting them on and off over and over again based off of how they perform, that's really going to mess with the optimization, and it's just not going to perform as well as it did. So you also have to keep that in mind. Now, also, if you go in and edit the ad sets, let's say you change the budget, or you just take out an interest, or you change the creative, you tweak it a little bit, that will also mess with your data as well. So that's why it's very important in the beginning that you give Facebook at least 3 to 5 to even 7 days to really optimize and figure out who exactly to target for your product. So the best way that you guys can deal with these inconsistencies is honestly to let it run, especially if you are in the profitable stage and you know that you're profitable overall. So look at 3 to 7 days worth of data before you make any changes. That way Facebook has a good amount of time to really optimize and find the customers for your product. An audience or campaign may be crap the first couple of days, and then the third day become very profitable, and vice versa. So for me, for an example, like for my product, it really just didn't perform that well within the first couple of days. However, I did notice a increase in my ROAS. So if your ROAS is increasing over the next 3 days or so, that is a good sign. So that means you want to let it run for the rest of the week, and then go back and see, what creatives didn't perform well, cut those off, and then continuously let it run, and then see, within that week if it's profitable. So if you're seeing drops, inconsistencies, let's say you're running an ad for a week or two, and you get a consistent, like 2 and up ROAS, that is very good. However, sometimes you might see drops in that. And what I've noticed for me personally, in those times, it might suck a lot, but you have to let it run, because usually it will bounce back. If you see these drops in inconsistencies, you need to analyze your funnel as well. Like for me, I didn't even know what was going on with my site. I was getting all these visitors, however, no one was purchasing like they used to. And one of the main reasons was because my website was just slow. And I looked at the app that was doing it, and I'm not going to name the app, but I'll name it. It's Ali Reviews. So they did have some problems with it. However, they did update it to where it doesn't really slow down your site as much as it used to. However, you need to check up on those things, because you might not even know that, and you may wind up, spending thousands of dollars, and you could have just checked up on that one app and cut it off, and then you would have been making money again. So there's just a whole handful of different factors you guys need to keep in mind. Another thing that you guys can be looking at is the frequency of the creatives and audiences. So one thing that I advise you guys to do, especially if you're in the testing phase, is to always target audiences that are 5 million to 10 million above in the audience size. And don't do any restrictions. Don't do age restrictions. Don't do gender restrictions unless you know for a fact, that's your target audience. However, you need to check up on the frequency of the creatives and the audiences over time. So let's say you've ran the ad for about 2 weeks or so, and you dump a whole bunch of budget into it. You need to check up on the frequency, which is the amount of times that a creative or an audience, or actually an audience, is seeing your creative. So that's also called ad fatigue. So that means you're consistently pumping a budget towards the same group of people, and they're just seeing your ad over and over again, and eventually they just get bored and keep scrolling. So I'm sure you guys have scrolled on Facebook before and seen ads many times, and you just don't buy it. You just keep scrolling over and over again. That is ad fatigue. So you just have to pay attention to that. Usually when you start approaching the 2.0 or the 2 frequency, that just means people are on average seeing your ad 2 times. So in that case, you definitely want to test different audiences. You also want to test different creatives as well. So you always want to have those as like a backup. So I'd say every 2 weeks, every month, just plan to have a new creative and plan to target new audiences. And another thing too, you probably heard of the end game if you guys watch Verum eCom, but it's a very cool tactic, because ad fatigue and audience fatigue really just doesn't exist with that, because the audience is so huge. Once you get to a point to where you have enough data on your pixel, you're going to be able to target worldwide, or the top 5 countries: Australia, Canada, New Zealand, United States. Did I say New Zealand? But you can target those, or United Kingdom, I mean. So that's the 5 that you want to target overall, as far as like conversion rates and stuff. But you're going to be able to target that large enough audience, and you're giving Facebook enough data to where it's not going to really experience ad fatigue or creative fatigue, because there's so many people in that audience that the likelihood of people consistently seeing your same ad over and over and over again is very low compared to these smaller audiences. So hopefully that makes sense. I actually wanted to go into my ads manager and show you guys exactly what I mean by letting things run and fighting the inconsistencies. So as you can see here, today is December 16th. Now, my ads aren't really doing well today for some reason. However, if you look at the lifetime, so let's go to my break-even ROAS is actually pretty low because I have a high average order value. However, if you look at the lifetime ROAS, you can see here for some of my campaigns, it's 4. Other ones are 1.76. My break even is around 1.4. And overall, if you go into the actual campaign, you can see the individual ad sets. So you really have to break it down and see what's profitable or unprofitable. Like one had a 9.62 ROAS. Other ones have a 2.05. Another one 2.19. And other ones that really lowered my overall ROAS for the specific campaign are these ones down here, and I actually cut those off. As you can see, this is a lifetime, so it's showing the lifetime ROAS, so I cut these off because these are the ones that were spending my budget and just really weren't profitable at all. And these ones that are blank here are just ones that I was testing, and I actually started those the other day. However, those are things that you guys need to pay attention to as well. And it's the same concept for the creatives, so you just have to look at those as well. And then you can also look at the frequency. That's what I was talking about earlier. Generally, you want to stay below a 2.0 frequency. That way, customers are not going to be seeing your ad or your ad not as often. Because like I said, it's ad fatigue. If you see an ad over and over and over again, you keep scrolling past it. You're really just not making that person any money at all. So you have to keep that in mind. So as you can see here, most of mine are below a 1.5 frequency. And sometimes you might go above 2.0 frequency and still be profitable. So you also have to pay attention to your ads. If you see a large drop over time, within like 2 weeks or so, then you definitely want to pay attention to those. And these are specifically for these audiences, and then you also have to check your creative as well. So that's definitely something you guys want to keep in mind. And like I said, when you guys are in your testing phase, you have to pay attention to your break-even ROAS. Look and see if it's rising over the next couple of days, or if it's, if you're going negative. But you definitely have to pay attention to that and let it run 3 to 7 days, see how it does. You have to give Facebook enough time to really optimize and see who exactly to target. And then also, when you're dealing with these consistencies or inconsistencies, you need to hardly ever touch your campaigns, okay? Especially now, like I'm at to the point where I'm able to do consistent income coming in through my store, and I barely touch my campaigns. Like if you see something is running well, you shouldn't be touching it at all unless you're deciding to, raise the budget. You shouldn't be messing with the creatives. You really shouldn't be touching it at all unless you see a problem with the campaign. It's just like the same mindset of not fixing something that's not broken. So always look at the lifetime of an ad set when making a decision, not a couple days. I only touch my campaign if I'm testing new interests, adjusting the budget slightly after some time. I let things sit to fully optimize and scale slow. So that's my whole deal with me. Like me personally, I don't really scale fast. I will let something simmer, let something marinate, and then I will scale slowly over time. Because honestly, with my experience in the past, if I tried to scale something way too quickly, then the optimization just got ruined and it just didn't do as well as it probably could have. So every ad account is different. Some of you out there may be able to double the budget, triple the budget right away, and then just scale to the moon. However, if we're talking a long-term, consistent, raise in profit margins and revenue, that's just personally what I like to do. So the last thing that I do want to cover is that you guys stop. You really just need to stop killing your ad sets so fast. Stop killing your campaign so fast. You need to let it run. I think that's the number one thing that people just don't understand, or the thing that's killing most of your guys' campaigns or products, is that you kill the campaigns way too fast. You shut down your website way too fast. You got to be patient. Let Facebook optimize. Let your pixel get data. And then let it run, especially if you're in the testing phase. Now, only make decisions after the first 3 days. Like I was talking to one of you guys, actually on PlayStation, it's kind of funny. But he said he only ran the ad for like 1 day. Noticed he got one sale, and I suppose he cut it off or something, or didn't. He shut down the product, or didn't really want to sell it anymore. In that case, don't do that. Don't. You have to let things run. You have to be patient, and just always think about this whole process is like a learning curve for your pixel. Your pixel does not know right away who to target. So over time, when you're building this data, Facebook is going to realize, okay, I have enough data here. I see all these similarities between all these visitors, all these customers and stuff. So it's going to combine it together, and then it's going to give you the best audiences to target. But you have to give it time, give it patience, and always pay attention to your ROAS. Like I said, that is going to be your most important deciding factor when you guys are killing a campaign or ad set. After 3 to 7 days, if your campaign is below the break-even ROAS, just kill it. But also check the individual ad sets as well. So some of you probably look at your overall campaign ROAS. You also need to go in and see the individual ad sets and see if those may have been unprofitable or profitable as well. Like there may be an ad set in there where, let's say you're targeting, I don't know, the Netflix interest, and it's not doing well for you, but for whatever reason, Facebook is just targeting all its budget towards that. That might be what's killing your campaign. So if you just cut off that ad set, just delete it or whatever, the rest of your campaign might do really well. So you have to pay attention to that as well, break it down, see what exactly may be causing these inconsistencies. Like I said, you have to analyze your funnel. It might be a creative. You have to look at the different creatives. Let's say you had 3 to 5 different creatives, all different scroll stoppers. One may be performing really, really well out of all the other ones. However, the other 4 may just be sucking up your budget. So if you cut those off, you may see an increase in your overall ROAS within the next couple of days. So overall, there is a handful of things that may be causing these inconsistencies. But like I said, especially if you're getting started and you're in the testing phase, you definitely need to let things run for around 3 to 7 days and then make a decision from there. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. I know I didn't really hit my consistent 1 week upload schedule, but honestly, I just want to come out with valuable content. If you guys want to let me know down below and what you want to see, just please tell me in the comment section. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.